Supriya Desai, fresher from Rajkot, Gujarat, met me in 2014 in BioAsia in Hyderabad. She was a fresher and she had come to meet a lot of dignitaries in BioAsia. I also met her. When she recognized me, she asked, "Sir, you talk a lot about careers. Could you please guide me? How can I make a career in clinical research?" I gave her some ideas, and fast forward to 2026. Supriya Desai sends me a LinkedIn request, and she's no longer a fresher. She is the director of clinical research in one of the largest companies in India, a CRO. Now, that was surprising. So I sat with Supriya and started understanding how she climbed the corporate ladder, and the things she shared with me, I'm going to share with all of you. Of course, I'll add my own insights. But in the middle of this, I'm here to tell you the clear truth about clinical research industry. Now, first things first, whether you're a biotech, pharma, or health tech, medtech candidate, professional, you are eligible for a clinical research job. But how big is the opportunity? How could Supriya from 2014 in 12 years become the director of clinical research? Her salary is in crores. How could she get there? And how can you also in the next 10 years become big? But there is a problem with this story. The story is of 10 years ago, right? 12 years ago. So what if the same thing doesn't happen in the next 10 years? So we have to analyze that feasibility also in this video today. So let us get started by understanding how big was the clinical research industry in 2014. It was $30 billion. Okay. And as of today, it stands at $100 billion, and it is going to get to $150+ billion in the next 3 to 5 years. And it is growing exponentially, all thanks to three things. First is AI in drug discovery. So more and more drugs are going to enter the pipeline because of AI. The second, more regulatory hurdles by government and approval bodies. Now, that means more clinical research, more rigorous clinical research has to happen in diverse population. And as you know, India has the maximum diverse population. Now, that is where you come into picture. Now, this is a manpower heavy industry. That means to conduct a clinical research, there has to be a clinical research associate who will coordinate with the patient, who will coordinate with the doctor, who will coordinate with his team back in the CRO. And that is where this industry requires a lot of skilled manpower. Now, the fun fact here is you don't have to go and do a MSc in clinical research or any such degree. All you need is a life science degree, okay, plus 2 to 6 months of training in clinical research. Now, what happens next is your skill set which you develop, such as data management, such as biostatistics, soft skills you will learn, GCCs guidelines you will learn. Now, all this, and then of course AI in clinical research is also coming. All of that, when you combine all of that, you can get a job faster. So the clinical research pathway starts at the preclinical level, that is the laboratory level. And then of course, phase 1 to 4, which is the operations and data safety level, and then reaches the regulatory submission level where the clinical data managers comes into picture, medical writing comes into picture, regulatory affairs comes into picture. Then post-market surveillance comes into picture. There you have pharmacovigilance and real-world incidents into picture. Then the life cycle management of the drug, that is where project management and leadership comes into picture. So you as a clinical research associate or clinical research professional will start at 0 to 2 years. Then you'll go to the mid-level at 2 to 5 years, and then senior level 5 to 10 years. And the moment you have crossed 10 years in clinical research industry, it leads to the leadership level. That is where Supriya is sitting right now. So At the entry level, you can become a clinical research associate or clinical data associate or pharmacovigilance associate, and it requires a bachelor's degree with a GCP knowledge, which of course we will train you on. The second would be mid-level, where senior CRA, data managers, biostatisticians, medical writers requires 2 to 5 years experience and specialized certifications. Now then comes the third part, where at the senior level you become a project manager, project lead, regulatory manager, and then director of clinical research, but you require a lot of leadership skills and expertise of the domain. Now, since I said there's no degree needed, all you need is a life science degree plus a training in to get started initially, and then once you have got into the company themselves teach you, right? Now, today I'm here to also tell you that there is a possibility that a lot of work from home clinical research jobs can be done, right? So if you are interested to download that ebook, the link is given in the comment section. You can download that. Now let's move on to what kind of skills you have to develop. So initially you have to develop a generalist foundation. Okay, you have to understand the entire full trial cycle, and then you have to undergo a specialization where you choose the vertical, whether you want to go to data regulatory or safety or medical writing, and then you have to choose what kind of leadership you want to choose. You want to go into pharmacovigilance, like one of my own friend, he is a director of pharmacovigilance in a pharmaceutical company now. So cross-functional influence, strategic thinking will be required there. And then you have to undergo a structural shift in the mindset, right? This particular job has got a lot of money and a lot of opportunity. And the biggest opportunity for the companies also is there, because now the companies are planning to go from a regular clinical trial in a bigger hospital into smaller hospitals, tier 2 and tier 3, smaller cities, smaller hospitals. So even if you are from a different city, you can take online training for clinical research. Of course, Biotechnica is starting one batch of training from 10th of February. You can check the details in the description and chat with me also in WhatsApp. So you can make a career there. You can create a market opportunity for yourself, because clinical research market is right now growing at 6.5% CAGR, and it has created a sustained demand for talent in diverse role and in operations, data, regulatory and safety. Now, India has a cost advantage. That is why all the big companies are coming, such as Parexel. Why? Because doing a clinical research in our country is 40 to 70% cheaper. And that is where another fact you should know is this industry requires manpower. So they can't lay off. They can't just say, okay, I don't need you tomorrow. AI has come, so you have to go. Because even if AI comes into picture, humans will be required, because this is something mandated by government. They cannot lay you off. So it's an evergreen industry, continues growing, 9 to 5 job, and there is career security and longevity and growth. Clinical research spans the entire product life cycle, not just the drug development. It extends from, career relevance to job security and well beyond the clinical trial phase. The roles are now available in post market surveillance also, pharmacovigilance, drug safety, real world evidence, and there are so many new growing specializations which is coming in as we evolve as an industry. Now, the problem with most people is there is an acute shortage of manpower, skilled manpower, because most of you are trained on regular PSc, MSc in biotech, life sciences. And then you think that R&D is the only job, but R&D is not a fixed job. It's like unlimited research, but with zero results. But here in clinical research, you are actually utilizing your talent, your life science knowledge, and then you are implementing the demand which the industry has. You're plugging a big loophole, and that is where companies are going to love you. They're going to continue. Now, the best part about clinical research is government itself says that you need to have these many people, these many things, and this is what has to be done. So companies cannot just try to cut short and do a clinical trial without having less number of clinical trial associates. So performance will always precede salary. So skill development is important, and then your experience is important, and salaries will grow as you improve on your skill set, as you grow on your experience. Specializations will follow generalization. So initially you will start as a clinical research associate or a coordinator or data associate. You're just a general guy. But as you complete the full life cycle of a drug and then specialize into biostatistics, regulatory affairs, medical writing, pharmacovigilance, as you grow, the salary grows. On the top of it, India is setting up a lot of global capability centers, which is called as GCC. So companies, pharma companies like Novartis, Novogen, Biocon, Syngene, Parexel, all of them are setting up GCCs in Bangalore and Hyderabad, and GCCs are being set up to do a lot of data processing for global pharmaceutical firms like Pfizer and Novartis, and high growth, high skill set demand employment, high salary jobs are coming into picture due to clinical research. Or the best part I would say is there is no such experienced people in clinical research like you have in R&D. Like you have scientists who are 20 years experienced in R&D, but when you go to clinical research, the max people have experiences 10 years, right? So there is a lot of room for freshers to get in. So easily freshers get into the job and they can actually grow in the job. So right now, clinical research is exploding till 2035. It will continue to explode, and if the AI in drug discovery explodes, automatically clinical research also explodes. So that is why I'm here to tell you that the time has come that you start investing a little bit of your brain in clinical research. If you learn clinical research, how it is done, how to get inside a clinical research organization and how to grow, you are going to get a lot of good scopic salaries, high paying salary jobs. So having said that, the first step would be learning clinical research. So clinical research training program is starting from 10th of February at Biotechnica. Link is in the description. It is an affordable program for everybody. Okay, you have 2 months, 3 months, 6 months along with industrial projects which you can do, and that will help you get a job. Last 2 months ago, 4 of our students got job as a work from home clinical research associate in a US based company. So they are performing clinical research in India. They wanted work from home CRAs and they got a job. So you have to create or combine your life science skill set with your real world applied skill set of clinical research and GCP mastery, medical writing, project management, and communication skills. So these three, when you combine, you become a deadly combination and you get jobs faster. One important fact which I would like to highlight here is there is so much scope in clinical research that actually it is going to overtake the entire valuation of the biotech market as such, because the entire global pharma companies are now gravitating on India to do clinical research, and same with China. So because the maximum population is here, the biggest market is here, so they want to do clinical research here, and because clinical research is cheaper here, so more and more of such companies are coming. So if you learn clinical research, chances of getting a job in clinical research is very, very high. GCCs are coming, scientific auditor jobs are coming, AI is coming. There's a lot of ethics, human in the loop demand is there, and on the top of it, there is a big gap because regular MSc, BSc, biotech, life science candidates don't have the training. If you just take the training, you can get these jobs, and the starting salary will be 50,000 and above. So what are you waiting for? Details are given in the description. Join us today, and of course download that free ebook on how to get work from home clinical research jobs. And I'll see you soon in the next one. Till then, keep shining. Take care. Bye-bye.